Okay, so it's quite. I guess I'm your warm-up guy because I'm going to kind of set the scene for the rest of the session. As you said, I co-authored a paper with 4 other people, which is just published in IEEE Computer, and you may have heard of some of these already. Jonathan Bowen, who is the, if you like, I was going to say father of Z, maybe grandfather of Z. He's done a lot of work in promoting formal methods Z in particular to the community. Mike Hinchy, if you like, high priest of former of NASA, now in Lero we call him the formal Methodist, and Sue Black, who you may have seen in the press recently in our other activity campaigning for Bletchley Park. She was our Scrum mistress in this venture. So the rest of the talk is all about me, not about formal methods. So, just joking. So I just say what my background is. So I did a PhD in program transformation. Looking back at it recently, there was quite a lot of category theory in it, but really I don't think there was enough category theory in it. Hence the reason for not being able to stay in academia and moving into industry, which I refer to as industry light, working on hardware compilation and then high-level synthesis. And then, so my true love was always formal methods, still is. So there was an opportunity to work for PRQA, who produce static analysis tools for C and C++. You may have heard of them. So I worked there for a spell, and now I'm more or less a customer, if you like, of tools promoting software quality within Hornbill. So still an enthusiast of formal methods. And one of the other things I do outside is to organise formal methods seminars, and I'll talk a little bit about that at the end. So I've got about 500 slides. So I'm going to be fairly agile in my approach, and I'm going to try and adapt to the mood of the audience. So if I see you fall asleep, I might accelerate, or if I see people leave, I might accelerate as well. And if you start throwing things at me, then I probably would have left by then anyway. So. Okay, so assuming I'm in the right room, I'm going to talk about a little bit of background with Agile, some formal methods background, talk about coexistence of formal methods and Agile, talk a little about the cost of Agile, and then give a summary. So, because it's like the first talk, I try and make it a little bit fun, in inverted commas if I can, so there might be the odd joke here and there. So please laugh. If you enjoyed the talk, tell me later. If you didn't enjoy it, then please just email my collaborators. Okay. Right, so why don't we first of all, I'm going to try and make this as interactive as possible, so I thought we'd have a little quiz to start off with. Okay, so the first prize, quite a few of these around at the moment, so we're going to give one of those away. Second prize, you're going to get a PlayStation 3. And of course, we don't want the runner-up to miss out, so the runner-up's going to get both. Right, without further ado. Okay, so any ideas what this number could possibly correspond to? Given the clue that we're talking about software development, formal and agile. 63,000. Any ideas? Okay, it was a number of bugs in Windows 2000. You probably, how was that? You said only 63,000. Yeah. Well, okay, 2,000 plus. Any ideas what that could be?
Will they fixed in the next release?
Oh, this bit would probably be, the next bit would be censored actually. So it's the number of pages of Z specification. So I'm told by an anonymous person in a certain air traffic control system you might hear about later on today. 700. Any ideas what that could refer to? So apparently this is the number of lines of code written per month by an agile developer. Quite astonishing. What about this? 280,210. Any ideas? It was actually the day that the PlayStation 3 bug was revealed. Right, so we've already heard that in 2001, so it's quite interesting, these 17 people went on a skiing trip. Okay, did various things, ski, eat, drink, and discussed common interests. And what they came up with was this idea of the Agile Manifesto. So the things in bold are the things that really they're interested in. They're not dismissing as such the things that aren't in bold, but the things that they're really kind of focusing on are individuals and interactions, working software over comprehensive documentation, customer collaboration over contract negotiation, and responding to change over following the plan. So you can read all about this and much more on agilemanifesto.org. So you'll see that when you look in the Agile literature, you'll see that there's different approaches. 3 that are quite common: extreme programming, Scrum, and DSDM. So extreme programming, you're talking about user stories and implementing those. Scrum, you have sprints at times where you're developing and you have a number of sprints in a release. And DSDM, you have fixed costs and a fixed number of resources, and you work to those. Techniques as well, you'll see things like pairwise programming and test-driven development. Just one anecdote: somebody I worked with once was a fan of pairwise programming, and he told me that his colleague he used to work with, whenever he used to go to the restroom, he came back and this guy had actually changed names of variables and things like that. So, of course, if you had a coding standard, no, that wouldn't happen because he was choosing the names that he thought were good to have. So hopefully that doesn't happen in other industries. Okay, another quiz. So, two statements here. Agile is about producing software quickly, and Agile is about being responsive to change. So, any ideas which one might be true and which one might be false? Maybe they're both true, maybe they're both false. Who thinks the first one is true? Who thinks the second one is true? Okay, there you go. We've got some strong contenders so far for this for the car. Anyway, right. So Agile is about being responsive to change. So it's not about producing software quickly, and some people think that is what it's all about. Okay, so what I've shown on here is some examples of some companies that have used Agile successfully. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with BBC iPlayer, but in the UK, if you miss a programme on the BBC channels, you can watch it on demand. Unfortunately, they only keep it online for about 30 days or something like that. But the BBC iPlayer is an example of a piece of software that was developed using Agile techniques. BT, British Telecom, have also used Agile successfully. They have several thousand developers distributed in different countries, and they've been able to report successes using Agile. Semantic have used XP, and various other companies on there have reported. Primavera has reported that it's a 21-year-old product they have, but by using Agile approaches, they've been able to kind of improve the software, reduce costs, and etc., etc. But of course, no one can stand here and say that Agile is the answer to all our problems. Otherwise, there'd be nothing left for me to talk about because I just let's do Agile and nothing else. But I think it's fair to say that there are some drawbacks with Agile. This thing here. So we don't have, there's a lack of comprehensive documentation. It's not that there isn't any documentation, it's just there isn't enough, really, in general. Writing tests up front is obviously a good thing, but of course you can't test everything, and anybody who says they can is being a little bit cheeky. Rapidly changing requirements. So people in the Agile world, they welcome changes to requirements, but you've got this whole problem about traceability. You've got to be able to see what's changing, what your system is supposed to be doing. And also refactoring code can introduce defects, because the idea is you write some code, you keep refactoring, improving it over and over again, but without the right kind of tools, you can actually make your software worse than it was before.